Hello. Thank you for joining our webinar, the top 5 KPIs for improving library districts, the key metrics for enhancing library services and community impact. Thank you for those that are joining live. Thank you for those that are watching this recorded. Welcome. Thank you to our customers, our partners, our clients, our employees, friends of the firm, and for those of you that are watching this as we speak. If we haven't had a chance to work together, we look forward to meeting with you very soon to see how we can help you, guide you in your journey of using data and analytics. This series, or this webinar, is part of an overall series. This webinar is standalone. You can watch this onto itself. You can watch the others in whatever order or sequence, or not at all. But catch us on social media for those replays. Measuring KPIs in a library district is essential for evaluating and enhancing the effectiveness of library services. Because of course, those KPIs provide that quantitative basis, not that gut feel, for assessing various aspects of library operations, such as user engagement, resource utilization, program success, opportunities for improvement. And really by tracking these KPIs, library management, such as yourself, can make more informed or better informed decisions that align with those strategic goals. Of course, it's all about optimizing the limited resources that library districts have and improving the service delivery. Of course, it's a data-driven approach that ensures the library district remains responsive to the community needs and adapts to ever-changing demands, especially in technology. I think for employees, the KPIs offer those clear benchmarks and goals to help align their efforts with the library's strategic objectives. Of course, there's no shortage of different distraction and things that people could be working on, but those KPIs is that North Star that help keep everyone focused and going in the same direction. It gives you that sense of purpose because everyone's working in a similar direction. Of course, everyone is trying to serve patrons better, help each other, and naturally, you as individuals and we as individuals want to continue to improve and feel engaged and appreciated. Of course, from a patron perspective, aka the customer, there's a lot of benefits of measuring those KPIs. Granted, that enhances services. You have a tangible way to say how we are improving, but we also have a tangible way to say here are opportunities for improvement. What can we do? Especially with no shortage of resources, time, money, people, technology, but there needs to be a set of priorities. Lots of places to help, but then how do you rank the ones that you want to focus on? And then how do you know when you're successful or you need continuous improvement by refining either services or refining the approach or a program in order to continue to iterate and make it better. I'm Mike Jellin. I'm part of AICG. I've been in the data and analytics space for approximately 20 years, helping library districts to use data to their advantage in order to improve. We at AICG, we're a data strategy implementation organization, helping library districts such as yourself. And yes, there's a lot of different technology out there. There's lots of data, lots of different things you can do. And as our CEO, Christian Screen, says, while technology is important, priority must be on delivering to the specific needs and use cases of the organization, of the library district. And we do that through true partnerships, working with you and your library district and the team members, the librarians, you may have some IT staff, in order to chart that course forward. Or if you have a key initiative, we understand that Our role is to come in and help assist. It could be to lead particular aspects of that program, of that particular project. We also understand the importance of the folks that will be remaining from the library district in order to support and manage whatever gets built. So to work with those folks to get them up to speed on the new tools and technologies, to help them understand the decision making and the whys early in the project and throughout the project, really is what that partnership involves, so that when it's our turn to roll off the project, that you and your library district will be successful because you've been part of the journey from day one, and those key individuals that are responsible for keeping the lights on and to enhancing and evolving the platform will be trained and well versed in how it works. So we're talking about the top 5 KPIs. So the first main KPI category is really all around the circulation and usage statistics. By really closely monitoring, of course, you have physical and digital circulation assets. The libraries, you can gain that valuable insight into patron preferences, allowing not only just to say, well, all right, what are people using, especially online or digital? You might not know what they're using because you don't have that visual cue to be able to say, oh, I was walking around the library, or I've noticed X number of people using A, B, and C part of the library. That's where data-driven approaches really enable libraries to identify which materials, digital and physical, are most in demand and adjust accordingly. And of course, you can also use that data for libraries to drive increased usage and patron satisfaction by ensuring that the offerings actually align with the interests and needs of the community. Think of the micro community. Larger library districts, you may have 10 plus libraries in your overall district. Each of those libraries serves a micro community within the overall district. And so those micro communities could have lots of different socioeconomical, perhaps religious, cultural wants and needs that library, the micro library, can address. And perhaps it can also be shared and used as a litmus test across the library district to be able to say, okay, how are we doing in this 1, 2, or 3 libraries from this particular program offering? If it's starting to be successful because we're using data to manage and to understand where we started at and what our journey is, you'll be able to determine, should this go out to all of the libraries within our district? Or perhaps it goes to a couple more of the libraries. And for whatever reason, you say, let's hold off. We are good now. Second major KPI, when you look at library visits and program attendance, especially you have foot traffic, people coming in. Some people might just walk through the door and go sit at a desk for a couple of hours, whether they're working or studying or just relaxing and reading. You need to measure what is the foot traffic. Ideally, you're able to leverage technology to be able to say, where are people going? What are people doing within the library, even if they are reading at a table, reading in a comfy chair, reading in a conference room. Yes, library cards also help understand from a data perspective, what are people checking in or checking out of? You might be signing up for a particular program. Think of English as a second language. Great. Everyone in the community is welcome to sign up. You just need a library card. And once you sign up, great. Now you have that attachment. But you also, just because somebody signs up, doesn't mean they necessarily attend that individual program. Well, that's where leveraging additional technologies to be able to either have a check-in process, whether that's through the library card, perhaps you're even embedding some sort of a RFID chip into those library cards that you have sensors throughout your library or library district to be able to collect the data. naturally there's usage, there's traffic patterns, or there's really that program attendance. So somebody coming in for 5 minutes and then leaving right away, or are they staying for the full program? And of course, asking and collecting the data of how was this program. If you're taking English as a second language, for example, very popular offering within a library district, collecting the feedback from those participants after each session or after a series of sessions within an overall program, you're able to determine how are we doing and how can we do better. And some of that, how we can do better is maybe reaching those that are not attending those programs. Is it because they're unaware? Is it maybe the folks that are attending, you're able to leverage them from a recruiting perspective? All right, there's a lot of different things that you can do with the data once you have it. And the other challenge is having that data in a central location that you can actually use it and discover and try to make sense of it. Another third major metric, or KPI, we look at just digital resource usage. Of course, if people are using things at home and doing searching, that can be difficult, but they have their library card, they're able to log in. Now you're able to track what are people doing? What are they looking for? How often? What are those different usage trends? Is it seasonal? Is it monthly? Is it based upon a particular time of year because of schools being in session? Whether those are K through 12 or collegiate. And then you can also blend in understanding from the digital perspective, naturally, the physical, if people are coming into the library. And all of that, allows you to make deeper, better decisions. And we did touch about this a couple minutes ago, just about looking at the membership and the card holder, to be able to understand just because you have a library card, I have a library card. If I go to the library once a week compared to once a month, compared to once a year, all right, you're not going to offer me or necessarily track me in the same manner as somebody that goes in every week if I'm going in once a year, or if I'm even going in quarterly. And then there's further engagement of what are things that people are doing and using and taking advantage of. What are those marketing campaigns and maybe awareness campaigns that you're using for your different membership? For my library, for example, I don't get notifications on different things, at least from my email perspective. Well, is the library collecting that information? And what is the library doing with my email address, for example? And really, what is the goal of the library within my own personal library district? And what funds and skill sets do you have in order to create the awareness, add new programs and offerings? And then how do you create that awareness? And where do you create that awareness within your local community for people to know and to understand? And of course, membership is going to ebb and flow for different reasons. Could be seasonal, could be the population. If you're in a library micro community that has an aging population, perhaps that aging population is using the library more. Maybe they're using it less. If they're using it more, perhaps they're focused on certain types of more social activities and different types of authors or literature that really drive their interest and attendance, compared to a younger library community that's going to naturally have perhaps more K through 12 and maybe even elementary school level offerings, just because you have a younger population. And so that naturally ebbs and flows and makes a large impact in what you're doing. Of course, you need the data and analytics to be able to tell you how you're doing, and then to show the incremental improvements, or if not incremental improvements, it allows you to say, okay, we tried this new set of offerings. We tried it for 6 months, for example. Maybe we tried it for a year. It didn't produce the results that we wanted to. Should we keep going and make further changes, or should we move on to other program ideas and initiatives? Of course, key metric, key KPI from a library perspective is looking at patron satisfaction and feedback. Patrons are the core lifeblood of what you do, and thank you for what you do to all the librarians out there to provide us, the patron, those in the community, those in your community. We understand that librarians are all part of the local community, and they want the local community to be successful. They want to be helpful. They want people to feel prideful of the library that they have in their backyard and use that library more than they ever have. The libraries also need to understand, and they are, how does technology and technology offerings layer into what that library has, which naturally that feedback loop that we could see here, there's satisfaction, there's also ease of use, there's program quality, collection relevance. Of course, you may have your own particular ways to measure satisfaction and feedback or sentiment analysis based upon feedback, especially if that feedback is written. Hard to tell sometimes, what is the tone, but over a particular volume of feedback, you're able to better understand, well, what is the sentiment? Is it positive? Is it negative? If it's negative, we're able to tell, potentially why. Bad day, bad weather, perhaps a particular offering. If it's going well, great. Why is it going well? Obviously, you want to keep doing what you're doing where things are going well. What is that? Because the librarian staff are very helpful, very pleasant. Is there something with perhaps the quality of the program? Maybe you release a new program. People are just over the moon excited about it. Awesome. Collecting that information so that it's all part of that feedback loop. Because collecting these KPIs, really allows you and your library district to make those informed decisions to enhance the user experience. And that could be doing more positive things that you're already doing on top of positive. Great. Perhaps gives you an opportunity to redirect focus and initiatives and dollars to things that could be better. Perhaps are new things that you haven't offered today, or it's just doing better with existing offerings, which resource optimization, knowing that a lot of programs need human involvement in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps it's reallocating resources to a particular program. And then, of course, that leads into that strategic planning. That is, you could say, strategic planning, looking out more than 12 months. Typically, it's that 3 to 5 years from a planning perspective, because naturally part of the planning is where are trends going? Where do we think they're going? Where are our peers and perhaps even other inspirational library districts that you look for inspiration, aligning with where are they going and where have they gone that we also would like to go from different technology offerings, and then to come up with a plan. What do we need to do to get there? Yes, there's going to be a people equation, a technology equation, just a fundamental priority equation, which of course all leads to funding. And that takes time as well. So that funding through grants, funding through local community, and all those things lead into that strategic planning and that longer term vision. And Barack Obama put it very eloquently. You think of libraries aren't just a place for books, but really a gateway to knowledge, culture, and community. And I think that's really important for us to lean into, from what does a library really offer at the end of the day, and what a library should be offering. But what that knowledge, culture, and community really means today is going to be very different 5 years or 10 years, 20 years from now, relative to technology, socioeconomic things, this preferences from the patrons, all those things are going to be tugging and pulling at you along the way. So we encourage you to think of, where's your library district at today about making data-driven decisions, not having gut feel decisions, or moving away from gut feel types of decisions, and to think through, all right, let's think of quick ways and quick wins that we can come up with in order to really drive home the point to use data or use more data to make decisions. Whether you know where to start, you're not sure where to start, you have a roadmap, you don't have a roadmap, that's okay. Feel free to reach out to us. We at AICG would be happy to chat with you, learn more, give you some guidance, and go from there. So feel free to reach out to us on our website, out on social media. And we thank you for those that attended today. Thank you for those that joined us to watch this recorded. See you next time.